Okay, now let's see. Yeah, this is looking out across one of the marshes. There's a lot of marshes around us there. These are the cooling system pipes in the foreground here. Okay, that's a picture of the Unit 1 reactor vessel hull. And they've been blasting and moving a lot of rock out of there, as you can see. Of course, that all used to be flat ground. That's the weather tower.
In case you don't know, that weather tower was the site of the first occupation of the Seabrook nuke, proposed nuke. On January 4th of '76, Ron Reed climbed it and camped on it for 36 hours.
There are at least 8 other anti-nuclear demonstrations and support rallies going on all over the United States on April 30th through May 1st. So it's becoming a very big nationwide movement, and it's certainly already worldwide.
Okay, well, we're getting together here today to try and organize a group of people into an affinity group for the occupation of the Seabrook nuclear facility on April 30th. What we expect from the affinity group is for people to be organized into a self-sufficient group of 10 to 15 people who will be the fundamental unit of the occupation. And we expect that people will have to be able to move for 3 to 4 days, cut off completely from outside sources of supply, which is the reason why we put such serious emphasis on the affinity groups. What we do at these orientation sessions is we start out introducing people, getting to know everybody, singing a song or two, something like that. Then someone goes over what happened at last summer's occupations, August 22nd and August 1st. We move on to other subjects, sometimes do a discussion of nonviolence as a tactic and a philosophy, and a discussion of legal ramifications. Then did a couple exercises in quick decision-making, which presents each of these smaller groups with the problem that might occur in the occupation. From that, we usually move on to a discussion of the actual plans for the 30th. From that, we usually move to role-playing.
These are our forces to maintain the legality of the Seabrook nuclear plant. We have our rent-a-cops over here. We have 2. We have our state police force over here. And we have our National Guard, Lieutenant Williams, ranking.
And who are you?
I'm Captain Stalv. The demonstration can take place in this area over here.
Have a seat. Sit down and decide what to do.
I think you should hit your board.
Move to the front. Get up right next to him. Somebody keep an eye on him.
Okay, please step forward to their line. Give you 5 minutes to leave the site, or we will arrest you.
The inside. So what? Trust us. Decision making. Is everybody prepared to remain on the site?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. I think we should make decisions, perhaps as a group, whether we want to go limp or leave with the people. Are there people with particular problems?
Before arresting the occupants, inform them of their arrest, find out whether they're walking with you or whether they will need to be carried. Identify a partner to work with in case you may need to carry the occupants.
We reach you, right?
Hey, look, I'm going to go out.
Calm down. Calm down. Get my eye.
Will you come with us?
Take the whole out, huh? I ain't going nowhere.
Can't take it away. No, no.
What is your name? My name is Bob.
No, you. Can you help? I need help taking the medical wagon. The occupiers have been arrested. They're now awaiting their arraignment.
So we're trying to accomplish simultaneously 2 things with the occupation. Before the occupation, we're trying to educate people about what we feel is the true nature of the reality of nuclear power plants. And then, once we've gone to a lot of effort to educate people and sort of laid the groundwork for people actually making an informed choice, we're going to present the state with a crisis that sort of forces people to join into the decision-making process rather than leaving it in the hands of politicians and bankers.
you know whether these would be the fugitive? And you can come through here. You can. Now, excuse me, I'm in the committee.
The occupiers are coming through here to the registration desk, and we're taking all their names down. We're finding out whether they have trained before and they have an affinity group, or whether they need to be trained. If they have an affinity group, we send them straight down to the pre-trained area. If they are not trained, we send them to the self-training area.
But you have emergency food. Yeah, I do. Have you been trained?
I've been trained. I'll tell you what I'm asking about. Is this where medical supplies are?
Where's the medical supplies? Where's the yellow thing hanging down the rear there?
Okay, I'll talk to her. Maybe I'll just take you up yet?
Use yellow.
On the blue? The light blue, the last blue comes out real nice. But on the dark blue, we're going to have to use yellow.
Excuse me, everyone's...
That's really good.
To the best of possible circumstances. You would have to take into account the possibility of the other numbers of types of failures that can go on, which is the multiple times and either percent.
Anything could be shouted.
The decision-making body, which was elected last night, democratically, they're paid volunteers mainly, and a meeting around the left. It's urgent that we walk in double file to avoid holding up traffic. Now we're going to have about 15 traffic controllers, and they're going to help us cross streets in such a way so as to minimize the amount of disruption of traffic. Everybody is to obey the traffic controller. If we don't, and we hold up traffic, we risk arrest for stopping traffic instead of for occupying the Seabrook site.
I'll take it up here.
From the Marigold staging area south of the town of Seabrook, a group of 750 occupiers marched the 3.5 miles to the power plant construction site, where they are joined by 1,200 more occupiers approaching from the north, the west, and the east.
Wouldn't be too close.
The first thing we did after arriving was to set up the Meldon Thompson Memorial latrines, and they're off to the right of the access road.
Can I say something? Can we just have a narrow trench and then people can just squat over it and the hell with the logs?
Well, they can still do the
Well, that's going to be a problem for people who are diarrhea.
Well, they have to squat no matter which way.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but if you have a log to sit on, it's not that bad.
But this one was not that wide. It wasn't any wide.
No, but they had some place to sit. We put some logs on it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We could have logs. Okay.
We have logs going this way.
Yeah.
And I think this is much better.
Sure.
Then you can make it good.
Do you think it might...
It could be thin. Hard to dig in
Maybe we
there.
should make a wider one just this way here for another day. We might not have to dig a second.
I know, I think it was.
Okay, we have an objection to the last suggestion that affinity groups and spokes meet all at the same time as being too hard to organize.
Then what's the point of the assistant spokesman coming to the meeting? Well, wait. There is. Did you say this point? It seems very reasonable for us to
most of us are, half of us are planning to be here indefinitely, as per the occupation in Wiel in Germany, at the Wiel plant in Germany. Half of us have decided we are going to have to leave tomorrow and commute to here.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. We sort of have the plan of setting this up as a permanent residence, and then, you know, just like it being your home, you commute to work every day and then come back. And
the way the State Patrol and the way the private cops were briefed on Friday was with the expectation of us being terrorists. And
so I was out by the fence back there, and there were these state troopers. They were really, they seemed to be for the demonstration.
So far? Well, we're basically just volunteered to set up so that if there's any problems here, that we could handle them. We're set up to do a lot more than what we've had to do so far. Basically, it's been a little heat exhaustion, cuts and bruises, sunburn, some upset stomachs, diarrhea, things like that. Well, there's about 8 or 10 central medical personnel, and each affinity group in the Clamshell has their own medic that has some sort of first aid training.
Both said the opposition won't stop until Seabrook plant's permit is irrevocably canceled. The plant with twin atomic reactors the PSC wants to build on the Seabrook site would cost about $2 billion, generate 2,300 megawatts of electricity, enough to supply 1/6 of the power needs of the entire 6-state New England area.
We've been very patient. The public service company was willing to let you come in here without having any problems, and also that you could make your point. However, that point has been made, and we cannot, as public officials, allow a continuation of the breaking of our laws, and we do not plan to do that. Now, this is as you know, law day. This is a good day for all of us to get together and observe the law.
In stand. I sing out danger, I sing out warning, I sing out love.
Bring it with us.
How many people have been through this process? Probably about 200.
Is that all?
300?
Don't
300 maybe.
How many other processing centers are like this tonight?
The only one. Now they have 4.
And I want to tell you before I arraign you a little bit about your rights. You're all charged with criminal trespass. And that is a misdemeanor under New Hampshire law. It charges a misdemeanor because the state has alleged that when they told you to get off the property, you didn't leave. So, Robert D. Ogden?
Not guilty.
Lincoln R. Hess?
Not guilty.
Blaine M. McGurley?
Not guilty.
The other thing is there's people in borrowed bedding, maybe want central clearing out.
Pardon me?
People with borrowed bedding.
Yeah, there should be.
As of 5:45, I don't know if it's still true, there was some fruit juice over by the coffee urn for people who are fasting. Some good friends have started a library, or are about to, and they're going to place books under the blackboard over here. If you've got books you'd like to lend, put your name in the book and put it there. If you've got books you'd like to get, there'll be a piece of paper for you to sign your name and the title of the book out. I've got one announcement that's not so good. Dover Starfish reports that processing is still going on, and that people have been sitting all night in buses and other assorted places, and ask for a few moments from us now in solidarity for them.
I'll be a student of life, a singer of songs, a drummer of food, and a righter of wrongs. It could have been me, but instead it was you. And sisters and brothers before we are through. But if you can work for freedom, 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 freedom. If you can work for freedom, I can too.
13th, 2 weeks after the arrests, the approximately 600 defendants remaining in 4 armories received mass trials in the New Hampshire District Court and were found guilty of criminal trespass. Virtually all the defendants appealed their cases to the New Hampshire Superior Court and were released on public recognizance. Those persons who had bailed out prior to May 14th were also found guilty, appealed their decisions, had bail returned to them, and were released on public recognizance. The Superior Court trials will require that the state of New Hampshire select a 12-person jury for each of the 1,500 defendants.